Hello, Survivor fans. Welcome back to Beyond the Torch. Todd and I are so excited, I'm Leslie, to be welcoming, actually, I think you were on the season right after us, weren't you, Gillian? 16?
Two after we were
2
17.
seasons.
Oh, 2 seasons. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, the 2 seasons after China in Gabon. It's Gillian Larsen, and we are so excited that you're here to share your
Welcome,
story.
Gillian.
Thank you. I'm loving it. Thank you.
Yes,
Super
of
excited
course.
to have you here. You played in a season that I think is a beautiful season,
yeah.
first of all, to look at. It's just
Oh.
gorgeous to look at.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear a lot of your story and your thoughts on everything. But first, we have to get to the fans have spoken.
Yes, because that's so important to us. We love what the fans are saying, and they're from all around the world. As a matter of fact, today Sally is from another country, and we're going to get to hear from her. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
My name is Sally, and I'm reaching you from Australia. See, I am almost 30 now, but once upon a time, I was just a little girl sitting in front of the TV with her parents, watching and falling in love with Survivor. I have been watching Survivor for longer than I can remember. The first season I vividly remember watching is season 8 All Stars, but I know I was watching long before then. And to me, Survivor is not only the ultimate social game, but also the ultimate social community. And that sounds kind of like bear with me on this. It has been such a constant thing in my life. It was me in primary school doing slide puzzles and showing my mum and being like, look, Mum, I can be on Survivor now. My mum would pat my head as mums do and be like, all right, go off to bed now. It was me in high school scribbling down Survivor strategies in my notebook and walking around the courtyard boasting about how I could out-strategize Boston Rob any day of the week, which just shows how deluded I was. It was me sitting on Reddit in uni at 3 a.m. writing essays about how the family visit is cursed, because it is, and about how this person is underrated and this strategy is really good. It was me being able to communicate with my mum at a time where we were estranged and not really talking about much, and having that small connection just meant a lot. It was me being able to communicate with coworkers that I didn't know how to break the ice with. I now have my own Todd Pop final. I've auditioned for, and thank you, Todd, I've auditioned for Australian Survivor so many times and will continue to do so. And I've met just so many wonderful people, and I love it all so much and will continue to love it. Yeah.
Oh, Sally.
That is awesome.
Todd, you guys would have been best friends in high school.
Yeah, we sound like the same exact person. And I love that.
I do too. I hope Sally's on Australian Survivor one day.
I would love that. I'll get a t-shirt made.
Yeah, totally. Gillian, what do you think of that? Can you believe people from all over the world watch this show and gain something from it? It's amazing, isn't it?
I love that. And Sally, thank you for mentioning. I know it probably was hard for you to say it was a time that you and your mother were a little estranged. But to me, and it gives me goosebumps, and I'm bumpy right now, thinking about how Survivor has impacted so many people in so many ways, and not just Survivor, but everything that shot off from Survivor. So, I mean, that right there, that's a jewel. The fact that brought the mother-daughter together a little more. So thank you for sharing that, Sally.
I absolutely agree. Like even to this day, still, I get together with my family every Wednesday to watch Survivor. And I mean, it started when I was in high school, and it was all these people from high school that would come over. And this is, 20 years later, I'm still doing it, which is pretty incredible.
Can I say something about Sally too? If she's applying for Australian Survivor, I think she has a really good shot, only because what a great storyteller. I mean, she was very articulate and energetic. And so Survivor Australia, if you're watching, go find Sally's application and get her on the show so we can cheer her on and have her on this show one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Australian Survivor, by the way. Like, I'm a
huge
it's so
good
fan.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Gillian, let's get to your story. I'm so excited because you actually, it's funny. You sound a lot like me in that you tried out a lot, right? Like 15 times, I think. Is that correct?
18 times. Actually,
18 times.
I can say 20 because I cheated and sent 2 in one time. I sent in 2 applications for the same season. So essentially 20, but I say 18 because that matches the years.
Yeah. Well,
so did you start watching season 1 then?
Well, what happened was, and I'll sort of bring this part of it in, I absolutely believe that we are guided into some sort of path for our lives. You
Yeah.
know, whatever it is that we believe in, whether it's spiritual, religious, whatever it is, I believe we're guided. So I listen to books in the car all the time. I don't listen to the radio. I've got enough noise in my head, so I don't need music. And I ran out of a book. So I turned the radio on because I still had a little way to go. And there was a thing talking about this show that was going to be on TV where they're going to strand normal people on an island and only one person would survive. And I thought, what? It's kind of like Lord of the Flies on TV.
Yes, exactly.
So, but anyway, it obviously hit something in my head because I turned off the radio, didn't give it another thought. And a little while later, I went to South Africa because I'm from South Africa and went to visit family and came back and was watching TV with my husband. And he flicks around looking for different things with a channel changer. And so I said, oh, wait, what? There's people sitting on a beach. Oh, I wonder if it's that show where they're going to kill everybody off. And so, and I thought, oh my God, just listen to them. It looks like a 7th grade lunchroom, you know. And I thought, oh, never mind. But then they went into a challenge. And that's when it sealed it for me.
You're like,
I love a challenge. I love being part of something that it challenges me. So anyway, I said to Ron, I said, you know, I'm going to do that one day. And he said, how are you going to do? I said, I don't know, but I'm going to look into it. So anyway, that was the beginning of an 8-year crazy fun search. Now, first of all, I'm a mother, and thank you, Leslie. I know you're a wonderful mother. And yes,
Thank you.
So in San Diego, you were very motherly, worrying about your daughter.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I was not quite a grandmother by the time I started, or maybe I was just briefly, had just started. I'm a nurse by profession. I was working 60, 70 hours a week. So I was really, really busy. But what I did was I fitted in training for Survivor because I've lived my life with the motto of dream it, believe it, prepare for it, and do it. So I had dreamed I was going to be on Survivor. I was going to do those challenges. I believed I could because I was like 50 something. I could do that. But I had to prepare and then I would do it. So I started reading books about everything, even the psychology of gameplay. I read Sun Tzu's Art of War because he has a lot of principles in there. I read 56 books on different things. On the Navy Scouts or SEALs or whatever they are, their survival booklet, their Bible. So anyway, on I went. But I also decided, you know, I'm walking around and I'd heard that sometimes people that are looking for people to play on Survivor are scouts and they see somebody that attracts them. So they, well, who's going to apply, you know, they'll come up to this old woman, I'm just, you know, getting older, and say, so you want to be on Survivor? So I made this bright orange shirt, which I brought it out for you. I made a bright orange shirt that says Survivor Scouts, talk to me. And I wore it on the front and on the back. So either way, they could see me coming or going.
Where did you wear this?
Everywhere. Whatever.
Are you in LA? Like how?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't in LA at the time, but I went, I mean, literally. So I started putting together a photo show. And in fact, you can see some of it on a YouTube called Gillian with a G, Gillian's Journey to Survivor. So anyway, everywhere I went, I either had this on or I had it in my bag. And then for the photo, I pulled it out. And my poor husband, it was probably embarrassed before I went. I mean, it was in front of the Statue of Liberty. It was on the Great Wall of China. It was at Fisherman's Wharf. It was, you name it, wherever I was going, because my husband's company traveled quite a bit with reward trips and whatever. So I was, you know, fortunate enough. Anyway, I wore this, and I made a big banner, but I don't know where I put my banner, but the big orange banner. And that said exactly the same thing. I was working in Connecticut at the time. So I would work night shift, hop on the bus, go down to CBS didn't do it, but NBC, the other way around. No, NBC does it on the plaza. So I would go line up with all those other people in the plaza with my orange shirt on and my banner. Anyway, And I sent in an application for every single season, with some of them were the stupidest things. I mean, thinking that they
Cringy
like,
at
I
this point.
mean,
just
so
dumb.
what season was Gabon the first season you got a call for?
No, actually, when I was, my grandson was born, and he's now 20, nearly 22. I'd gone back, we'd moved to California by then. We went back for his baptism, and I got a call I had 2 drop-ins, you come up to LA and you can, like 2 seconds, and it was like, thank you, done. Oh, okay. Are you sure you're done? I want to talk to you. Anyway, when I was in Boston, they called me, and they said, we're going to be in Boston, because I said, I'm not going to be here. I've got to go to Boston. They said, well, we can interview you in Boston. So that was the first interview that was a little bit longer than 2 seconds. And I spent a fair amount of time talking to them. And that was in year 4 of my 8th year. So that was in whatever, 2000 and my grandson's 21, 22 now. So.
Pearl Island, no. Vanuatu era.
Yeah, long time ago. And so they called me back after the interview, and they said, well, we're not interested in you for Survivor yet. And I heard the word yet.
Yet.
And I thought, okay, yet. But we're interested for Amazing Race. So anyway, I talked to them a little bit more about Amazing Race, and I said, oh, God, I really want Survivor. I feel driven for Survivor. And so I said, I'll call you back in the morning. And so I called back and I said, no, I really, really, really want to wait. There were other factors that played into that, not wanting, because I would have loved to do Amazing Race. Anyway, and then I also had extensive interviews for Fans versus Favorites. It was
really, so that was 16.
Right. And in person, and on the phone, and send more pictures and talk to you on the phone. I mean, it went on and on. But I had a trip to South Africa planned. And here again goes that my feeling of a path of destiny, and reasons. So anyway, I had a trip to South Africa planned. And I said, if you tell me I'm on, I'll drop all my plans to South Africa. I'll cancel them right away. But if I'm not going, could you just tell me? Because I'm supposed to go in like 2 weeks' time. Yeah. And so they said, okay, never mind for this season, because they knew Africa was coming up, obviously. Now, I went on that trip to South Africa, and I spent I have 2 brothers down there, and I spent quite a bit of time with my family. But the one younger brother, we went scuba diving together, and he almost drowned. Now, if I hadn't have been with him, he would have drowned. So that was the first thing, that I was meant to be there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He might not have gone scuba diving if I hadn't been there anyway, but, and spent like 2-3 weeks with him during that long trip that I had. He died a year later.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought, if I had have gone to Survivor, I would have
missed all of that.
And so I thought, yep, see, things happen for a reason.
Yes.
So anyway, then Gabon came up, and as you would imagine, as people might have, they were looking for 2 older people, because Africa reveres their elders, and they needed an old woman and an old man. So then I went into the casting, went to Santa Monica, did the whole thing there, and I was so nervous, and I don't get nervous. I mean, I'm a nurse. You don't panic or nervous, otherwise your patient dies. So no, I was a nervous wreck. I followed every rule. I kept my head down. I didn't look at anybody. And so part of that, sadly, set the path, I think, for my time as a cast member. Because by the time everybody who had seen me in casting, the other people that ended up on my tribe, plus the journey to get there, I did the same thing. I wasn't looking at anybody. I wasn't going to break any rules. I wasn't about to lose this opportunity. So I think by then I let my hair go to the natural color, which you see. And I think a big part of it was people maybe had formed an opinion that I was this sort of grumpy, whatever.
Introvert, like almost.
Yeah. And they hadn't seen who I really was, because I wasn't who I was.
You were trying to keep your gig.
I know that's really interesting because you are 100% right. That beginning part of the game, when you're not allowed to talk to people, it's huge because you make those connections just by looking at each other, just by smiling at each other. And so that is really an important key factor to any future Survivor player. Like, no, don't go off and talk to them because that is a way to get kicked out. We have 2 people on 49 actually who were replaced because of that. But just remember that part is super important.
I think I knew who I could trust before the game even started. Just by eye contact, just by smiles or nods.
Well, I did. Yeah. I had assessed everybody during the casting time. I had decided that Ace must be British because he ate in the British style. I had decided that Susie was very friendly and chatty because she was always in the dining room looking around and looking at people and smiling. And so, many of those that were in casting, I had thought something about them just based on how I was thinking about them. I must, as a nurse, you heard me say, but I worked in psych nursing, inpatient psychiatric services. And so I learned a lot about assessing people, et cetera, et cetera. So I used those, to, not that it assesses people, but it gives you an idea of who and what and how. And then, interestingly enough, we were in the one room, everybody was gathering, and I guess we were going to watch Survivor videos together again, not looking, not talking, not anything. And I sat at the back so that I could see everybody. And then this other person walked in, and I looked and I thought, oh my God, there's an old man just walked in. And I thought, wow. And it was Bob.
It was Mom. That's awesome.
And I said, oh, wait, you're also an old person. So
you're 2 token older folks. Yeah.
Right. And
so
then
great.
Also, I had seen during that casting 2 weeks or whatever it was, I had seen this very tall woman. And I thought, gosh, she's a good, strapping, healthy person. And so I was always looking for spoilers and stuff. And I'd found a spoiler talking about an Olympic gold medal runner that was going to be on the next season. Mm-hmm. By this time, casting had happened. I knew I was on. And so I quickly looked, and I found her picture. And I thought, that's who that was. She's a gold medal runner. Well, by this stage, I'm now 61, and I've had 3 children. And when you're an older woman, you have sort of like leaky bladder when you run. You want to put that on there. But
Gillian, don't tell people this. They shouldn't know this.
No. That's amazing.
No, it is true, especially once you have kids. Over.
And I had children with challenging deliveries. So anyway, and I don't run as well as I do other things. So I started thinking about what I would do. Now, I need a counterpart to what I can do. If for some reason, she's on my tribe or can be, that would be a good counterpart. She can do the running. I can do all the other stuff that I know I'm good at.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was pretty bummed there was going to be Africa because I'm so much better in the water.
I was going to ask you, what was your opinion when you found out you were in Africa?
Bummed, but I didn't care because I was getting on.
Same, yeah.
Because I know so much more about water. I knew how to find mussels stuck on rocks. I knew how to fish with an Australian sling. I knew how to do all that stuff with water. But anyway, so when we get to the actual, you go there for a little while for all the interviews and all that. And I couldn't decide. I thought I got to pick her. Because I absolutely need a runner. If I have a chance to do a schoolyard pick or something, I really have to pick her. But then on the other hand, there's that really cute dude. Maybe I should pick the cute dude because you always want a cute dude. And I had some cute son-in-laws. So I thought, okay, maybe I pick the cute dude or I pick her. And that's where the whole thing started to happen. And again, I thoroughly believe in the path of destiny. Yes. I was meant to be there. I was meant to know she was a runner. I was meant to pick her. Because right until the last minute, I'm standing there. Bob and I are now doing the pick. And I'm still thinking, okay, which of the two, the cute dude or the runner? And I thought, I have to do the runner. So,
Who was the cute dude?
Marcus.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was definitely
Well,
cute.
there were several cute dudes, but
Yeah.
Marcus was tall and had such a kind, open face, and he
Yeah.
was
I love Marcus. He's such
Yeah.
a good
So sweet.
yeah, he's a lovely man.
And Maddie, he was on your season, right?
And Maddie was on.
Yeah,
that
he was
season.
And
cute.
Charlie and
Charlie. Oh,
Benry.
yeah.
Like you had a
Yeah.
lot of
There was
handsome
some really-
men.
I know. So like when you said that, I was like, which one?
Well, which one? And then Dan was also a cute dude. So
Yeah,
Dan.
Dan. Oh,
yeah, poor Dan. I don't know. Poor sad Dan. But anyway, there we are. Yeah, so that's how that whole thing happened. And then, the whole thing, here I've spent 8 years trying like crazy to get on this competition for that reason.
Yes.
And people used to say, why are you doing this? Why are you applying? And I said, to be quite honest, I have no idea. I don't know, but I can't quit. I said, I don't quit on anything, and I'm not quitting, but something keeps telling me to keep going and to keep applying, and you will get it. And
It's
so
this weird draw. It just doesn't leave you.
Absolutely. I could never explain it. There was something right here. And so here I am, and I'm standing with Crystal next to me. And then she picks, I think, Susie, and then they pick and they pick. Well, halfway through, I'm thinking to myself, good grief. All the good-looking, healthy, athletic-looking people are still basically standing down there. And we are forming what I decided was definitely called the Tribe of Misfit Toys.
The Misfit Toys.
It was so like, and Jeff stopped us and he said, I presume you guys know that this is an athletic type competition. So anyway, the pick went on, and that's how we ended up with our tribe and then the other tribe. And they were all, I called them the Cookie Cutter Club, because they were all, young, cute, good looking, athletic, etc.
Yeah. Well, that's how
That's
Survivor,
crazy.
it used to be that way. It used to be very much, very like models and
Yeah, it was very like stereotype casting.
Yeah, yeah.
You had, your older two people, one or two, and then you
Yeah.
had a few of the young ones, but then you had like two people who were Black, two people who were Asian, one gay person. It was very strict, like very weirdly stereotyped. So thank goodness for diversity now.
yeah. It is nice.
Like that's such a relief.
Well, we were diverse. We started the whole diversity thing because our tribe was hugely diverse.
Yes.
Yes.
In ages and everything. I mean, we were different races and colors and ages and backgrounds.
Was Kenny on your tribe too?
And yeah, it was Kenny and GC and Randy and me and God, a few, whoever
You
else.
really were a little misfit tribe, huh?
Yeah.
I love all of these people, but I think that's because I'm naturally drawn to the misfits, is what I call them,
Love
Yeah,
that.
That's fine.
so I thought, well, this is what it is, right? This is what it is. And I thought, well, with all of our ages and our cultural differences and our everything, we have so much to offer as a tribe. And so I'm trying to sink this into my head instead of thinking, what the?
Yeah. Look at the positive. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway,
was there like a moment out there, Gillian, that kind of like broke you? Was there something that happened that kind of just, you know what I mean? Like, I think we all kind of go through a breaking of sorts when we're out there. I'm just curious about if you can think of a time that happened.
absolutely. And I know exactly. And that was the next step on, feeling about how my tribe was. I mean, first of all, I'm thinking this is a very strange mix of people, but we're going to make it work. It's going to be good. And so we go and we do the first challenge. And just as a slight side note, before, when we were on our way to Gabon, we, flown. And then we got to Gabon and we went on, I don't know, a bus. And then we had to go on this boat thing. And it was like one of those duck things that the army uses to get on a beach.
Oh, yeah.
So Ace, and it was still almost dark. And Ace was in front of me and he jumped in And so I thought, oh, I'll just jump in. Well, I jumped in and I didn't realize there was this very big gap between from where I was jumping to the floor of this thing, this boat thing. And I just heard something in my left thigh go snap.
Oh.
And I thought, oh no, and the pain right there. And I thought, no, you're kidding. You're kidding. Anyway, so for the whole time that we were there for the pre-stuff, I was guarding my leg. I was just sitting, resting it, and just pretending I was relaxing. Meanwhile, it was really hard. So that's the first thing. So I had hoped. I didn't say anything. And I, just kind of walked around very gently looking at all the flowers and everything like, oh, maybe I could take another step. Okay.
Oh,
But
no.
anyway, by the time we went into that first challenge, it was a lot better because I'd been resting, taking Motrin. And so that first one, here we are, we're going to run. And our tribe is all ready and they're all ready. And he explains what we're going to do. We're going to run from here. We're going to run over this little, not cliff, but over this big ledge thing and then run way down and climb that hill.
There was a lot of running in that challenge.
So I'm thinking, okay, my leg is good enough to do that, but guard it. So when you come to that little ledge thing, don't jump.
Yeah.
Scramble down it. You don't want to jump it. So, and then here's another. I told you I'm an old woman with a bladder, and I knew we were going into the game that day. I just had that feeling. So I drank 2 bottles of water and ate 2 loaves of bread and peanut butter. So of course now we're all lined up, and I'm thinking, that water. What's going to happen to all that water? So I said to Jeff, I said, sorry, before we head out, I need to pee. I do not want to get to the top of that hill soaking wet.
No.
You can edit all of this.
No, we're keeping
This
this
is
in. Are you
great. This
kidding
is
me?
what
This
we
is
wanted
golden.
here.
So he said, well, okay, go ahead. So I mean, there's like 200 cameras everywhere and there's people everywhere. And so, okay, well, I'm not going to get to the top of the hill wet. So I just sort of scooted to the side a little bit and did it. And then got back into line. And
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, Gillian. Yeah. Well, it's funny. We just talked in the episode with Courtney about how I had diarrhea running down my leg. So I don't think we're off limits here with any
No.
bodily.
yeah, you're right.
functions. Yeah.
I mean, and I crapped my pants on day 39.
Yeah.
We had just gotten breakfast on day 39, and I was in my undies and I was going to the well to go get some water, and I jumped over this little stream and it was done. I took my underwears off, I threw them into the jungle, and I walked back to camp naked, and I was like, it happened.
Okay. I did not know this story, Todd. That's hilarious.
Yep.
think
I
we're
looked
trying to help you understand, Gillian, that we all get it. Like, we're human. We have functions that don't stop just because you're on Survivor. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
why I also like this podcast is
Yeah.
because we only see I think it's like 1 minute out of 300 minutes of filming
Yeah.
off the couch. And so this is showing people, because I always wanted to meet people who'd been on Survivor, so I could ask them these questions,
Yeah.
Yes.
get their input. And so I think this is such a brilliant podcast because it is telling people all these little things that nobody would
Then
know.
you would never know.
You don't even
ever.
think about these things until
Nope.
you're out there and you're like, oh, okay.
So anyway, back to the aha.
Yes.
So I come from South Africa, and there's a spirit of Ubuntu, which is the African philosophy of I am because we are. And that's how I live.
I love that.
It's
great.
Ubuntu. I mean, it gives me goosebumps every time I think of that. So anyway, I thought, okay. So we do this, and I managed to scramble over the first hill and run, and I'm running. And I think I might have been lost for a little while, but then going up the hill, I thought I was dead lost. And so I thought, well, I totally screwed that up, but at least I got up to the top. Well, it turned out I wasn't dead lost. I'd beaten Crystal and Susie. Yes, with Matty shoving my butt up the hill, but they also had people shoving them up. So anyway, that's being said. So off we go to camp, and we, get settled in, sort of, we find where we're going to be. And again, I'm following all the rules. I'm not speaking to people on the way from challenge to camp. Everybody else is to each other. And I thought, oh, I just can't. Maybe they could pull me now and send me home. So
Yes.
So we get to camp and this and that and get sort of settled a little bit. And then that later that afternoon, that evening, production pulled me away for an interview. And then I came back from the interview and everybody's kind of hanging out in the one African hut that was pretty solid. The others were all falling apart. And the topic of conversation was so not me. And I just felt like I'd fallen into a pool of kryptonite for my soul, because I couldn't join in the conversations that were going on. So I again looked like a stuffy old woman, just sort of sitting there, and I just couldn't. It just wasn't me. And so anyway, when I just thought, well, fine. And then that night I'm lying there. I actually suggested everybody, let's see what we can do about who's going to sleep how, because, we could arrange it so that maybe, you with no clothes, hardly, little skinny legs, and I didn't put it this way, but, you're clearly going to be quite cold. Let's put you in the middle of everybody's to kind of keep you warmer. But we're not going to bother with any of that. I said, okay, fine. But lying there that night was when I thought to myself, I can't believe it. I have wanted this for so long, for some reason that I didn't know. And here I am. What do I do? Do I conflict myself because I knew production was going to be asking all these questions. And I thought, do I conflict myself by saying what I thought of everybody and give production what because I could have given them all kinds of stuff on and off, on and off, on and off about everything about my tribe. But I couldn't. I could not say what I was thinking. And production kept saying, what are you thinking? You're not thinking that. And I said, oh, yes, it's going to be lovely. We're a whole bunch of different people. La, 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 la. But I couldn't. And so I thought that night, well, let's see how it goes. I'll play the game as hard as I can. I will do stuff around camp. I was the one that chopped all the firewood, talking about what did you wish Survivor had shown. They showed nothing because Randy called me a useless old woman, and I believe Maddie might have as well. So they showed nothing. I chopped all the wood. I built all the fires I got them ready for fire. I did all of that stuff. I brought an elephant carcass into the camp because I found it in the jungles I made some furniture out of some of the elephant bones. And in fact, I brought one of them back with me.
Yes, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Is that a vertebrae?
It's a top vertebrae, and I used it as a pillow because it's perfect. Right there was the spot for your head.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Just my elephant bone pillow.
Elephant carcass. No big deal.
Everybody will definitely call me the elephant bone woman. But anyway, I just thought, fine, just do what you can. You don't have to join in on what's your feeling of your camp is or your tribe is. You just do what you can. But again, because I wasn't blending in with the conversations, it just made it even more obvious that I just didn't fit in, and I didn't. So, but I had, like I said, I had observed everybody. Somebody had a tattoo on her back with a name, and I said, that's great. I said, is it somebody special? Well, she just let me have it about, no, it's not, and I hate that person, and I did it. I'm fine. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. And Maddie had traveled with a surfboard the whole way. So I talked to him about surfing, and because I'm California, he's California. And I said I'd learned to surf in South Africa and blah, 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 blah. But everybody, I tried to bring up a conversation based on how I'd observed who they might be. And that just, it wasn't either. I mean, it was like I wasn't fitting in with the spirit of the camp. And that made me not just but very sad.
Yeah.
I thought, and listening to you guys talking about some of the camaraderie you had, there was nothing. Well, obviously I was only there for 6 days, but during that time, in fact, I haven't even watched my season except for the opening 2 episodes and the finale at the finale itself, which is in the Greenland, as you know, because it just makes me so sad. And I think, so get over it. You don't have to feel sad the whole time. you tried, you got on, you did it. And you know what? The reason I pushed so hard, and that's what I tell people, is there was another reason. It wasn't to get on Survivor. It was to get off Survivor and to use Survivor, which is exactly what I did afterwards. So, but that was my aha moment. I thought, I can't destroy my spirit of Ubuntu by fitting into the tribe, because I could have. I mean, I'm not a prude.
Yeah, you could have easily done it. You just wouldn't have felt right, you know. Would you do it the same all over again if you could, or would you try to fit in?
Well, first of all, I can't, because I'm like 18 years older or something, and my bones are giving out. And people would say, "Well, what are you going to do? How are you going to strategize? What are your strategies? What's it going to be?" And I said, "I don't know till I end up with the tribe." As you don't know, you don't know how
you have to adapt.
And I will never diminish my spirit of Ubuntu, no matter the circumstances. I will not do that to myself or my family, because I did not want, because you know how editing thing, I mean, they pick up everything. And if I'd given one nasty comment, they would have picked up all the nasty comments and then made me look like this old woman that was just, trashing everybody, which believe me, I could have, but I wasn't going to, and I never will. So
I love that.
For
You know, what's interesting to me, Gillian, is you say you were 61 when you played this game.
Right.
That's incredible.
I was 38 and they called me the old lady.
That's
I laughed when I was hearing that on your podcast.
That's
Like,
insane.
I mean, and I did feel a little on the outs, like I was the older, and I mean, what you're telling me, I fully understand. It is so hard to blend in with a completely different. I think the thing that helps me at this point in my life is that I have kids that are that age. You know what I mean? So I'm around it a little more. But like at 61, my kids would be, in their late 30s and 40, they wouldn't be these 20 somethings anymore. And so like, I can't even imagine how difficult that was.
The thing with Gabon 2 was the fact that it was Gillian and Bob and Randy who were like the older, and then Susie, but then everybody was so young. There was so many young people. So obviously it's going to be hard to find the connection there. And I've met you, Gillian, and we've talked, because you can talk for hours. And it's like the thing that you said earlier, where your head was down and you weren't making those connections because you were following the rules. That to me right there says that's why. That's exactly why this happened from the get-go. And that's so unfortunate, because you have so much to offer and give.
There's so much wisdom.
Oh, absolutely. The fact, though, that you didn't stop trying and you actually did it at 61 years old, like 61, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry, that's insane.
Well, I kept fit and I was fit and healthy and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to slip in another little thought here when you mentioned Bob again. I am so delighted that Bob won. I just thought, I was so glad that he won. Anyway, talking about how different my tribe was from me, not just in conversation content, but in stuff. So we're going to the challenge where the big balls had to be rolled. And so we're being given the instructions. We're going to, and as you know, the tribes are each given instructions separately. So Jeff's talking to us, and he's saying, okay, so you're going to take this enormous ball, heavy, enormous ball, and you're going to push it. You're going to push it down here, and then you're going to stop, and you're going to get a key off there, and then you're push it, and it's all the way sort of downhill, down, and then up a little bit of a hill at the end. So somebody on my tribe, and to be quite honest, I can't remember who, but several agreed, hey, you know what we should do? Interrupting Jeff. Hey, you know what we should do, guys? Is why don't we make sure when we're behind them, a little behind them, which we possibly might be, is let's just shove the ball like crazy and let it knock their ball flying. And Jeff looked at us and he said, just play your own game. You guys are useless already. Just play your own game. So, and I'm thinking this could be a thought. So anyway, as we're getting ready to arrange how we're going to be on the ball, I suggested, and I'd suggested other things, and everybody said, doesn't matter. But I said, obviously, Susie and I should be on the outside because we're not as strong as all of you. You guys are awesome. I mean, you're so fast, you're so strong. You guys push more and we'll guide from the side. My feeling is guide. I'm going to watch what's happening with this ball, and I'm going to be pushing it in the opposite direction if I see this thought is happening. And so we're going, and all of a sudden, whoever it was again said, okay, now shove it. And so in the meantime, I'm running next to it, watching where we're going. And Randy's yelling at me, which I did see when it aired, get out of my way, Gillian, or you're in my way, Gillian, or something. And I thought, yeah, purposefully, buddy. I'm trying to guide this ball. And so when they yelled at that, I looked up and the ball was headed towards the other ball, but behind the ball, because somebody had to stand on the ball to, get one of the keys. And behind the ball was Bob and Kelly. And I thought, if this ball hits them, it's going to kill them.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I shoved it as hard as I could as we're running down this hill with the ball, and it just missed them. Oh, and as we got closer, I yelled at them, watch out.
Oh, my word.
So I told Bob he won because I saved his life.
Because you saved his life. I heard those balls are extremely heavy, right?
They're huge.
I mean, we had some balls that were pretty heavy too in the mud challenge. Remember when Amanda lost her shirt?
Yeah, I didn't play that one. I sat on the bench.
It was
I
insane.
didn't feel how heavy it was.
It was insane.
I was on the sit-out bench, Leslie.
I'm sorry. You're right. It was my turn to play. I got
am
mud
not
slammed
sad
by
that
Ashley.
I missed that. I'm not sad that I missed that.
Yeah, you shouldn't be, because that mud smelled like manure. But anyway, we digress, Gillian. Let's get back to something that you said that I can't wait to dive into. Is you said you weren't on it for the reasons that you thought it was for after. So what do you mean by that? Let's talk about your purpose.
Well, clearly I got booted second, so I now had a 5-week vacation.
Yeah,
we do. And where we were, there wasn't really that much to go and do. I mean, and so many of the other seasons went to some awesome places, which, by the way, I'm still trying to find China. I want to watch the whole thing, but I've watched clips again. Your cultural immersion was incredible.
Yeah.
And we were tucked away in the jungle somewhere, which is fine. I mean, fine. Didn't have to cook, didn't have to clean, etc., etc. So
you stayed in Gabon?
Yeah, we were flown away by helicopter for about an hour up the coast or whatever it was, just to get away into a place we were going to stay. And so anyway, we stayed there. And so here I am. I'm at this place, and we couldn't go to me. They said you can go for a walk on the beach if you want to, but we've got to be able to see you. So I had been training for whatever it was, 20 years. Not just for Survivor, but just for life. And I would walk an hour a day or swim an hour a day or something. So I said, okay, I'll walk. I want to walk on the beach and enjoy the beach. So I'd walk back and forth. And eventually I said, oh, forget it. I said, I am not going to just little back and forth. I followed the rules all along. I'm going to go off and explore it. If I don't come back, well, then sorry. I said, I'll be fine. I'm aware of wildlife. I'm from South Africa, and obviously one can imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go off walking, and I thought to myself, why did I push so hard for the experience to have to have fallen so flat? And I thought, in life, things don't always turn out the way you'd hoped it would. So quit whining, and pity party. Nobody wants to go to a pity party, and you shouldn't be at one. And so think there had to be a reason. And so I'd said to the handlers that were with us, so what do people do after Survivor? I really didn't know much about the whole thing anyway. And I was busy working, being a mother and then a grandmother. And they said, well, sometimes they get together and, meet up and whatever. And a few people have done some fundraisers. And I said, fundraiser. So anyway, for the next 4 or 5 weeks, I spent walking for 4 or 5 hours a day in the jungle. I mean, I just took off, walked, thinking. And in the meantime, which is another story I won't tell you about, but I did totally crashed my shoulder in a body surfing accident while I was there. So anyway, that's a long story. You could read a book one day. So I'm walking along in the jungle with my arm hanging on my sarong because I couldn't hold it up. It was dead. And I thought, why and what can I use this for? And I thought, okay, talking to myself or the monkeys. There were lots of monkeys there. I said, I always wanted to meet people from Survivor. I bet people from Survivor and possibly other TV shows might want to come and do a fundraiser. So that's when I developed the reality rally concept, about which you guys know about, is bringing reality stars from Survivor and other TV shows. So that just boomed out. And over the 10 years, and Todd, you were there in 2011.
I was.
Yeah, thank you. And so
it was fun. I had a great time.
And, with the help of many, many people, every one of us was a volunteer. And as you know, the reality star people who wanted to come did have to raise money. We were raising money for Michele's Place, which is a cancer resource center in Temecula. And the goal was to have fun raising funds for Michele's Place and promoting Temecula and having an opportunity for the public to meet reality stars like I wanted to. And so over the 12 years that we ran it, except for 1 year of closing for COVID, and then second year I didn't run it either because it just wasn't open enough. Together, we, reality star people, and by the way, we had about, I think it was 348 reality TV stars from 73 different TV shows over the years. And
that's crazy.
It was amazing. And then volunteers, hundreds of volunteers and sponsors, and people just fell in and helped out and did this, raised over $1 million, having fun, promoting Temecula and helping Michele's Place and visibility. And then I started speaking engagements as well, just about never giving up. And it doesn't matter how old you are, and just do what you know you're capable of.
Yeah.
And dream it, believe it, prepare for it, and do it.
Gillian, you lived out something that I teach my kids. I teach them this. I'm like, excuse my colorful language, but I'll say something like, life is probably going to give you shit sometimes.
Yep.
And you have a decision in that moment.
Yep.
Are you going to wallow in it and be sad about it and be grossed out by it? Or are you going to make it into fertilizer? And I feel like you just said, I am making this into fertilizer. I'm going to do the best I can with this. I mean, there's no guarantees with anything that you do, but the only guarantee is that you have a choice of what to do with it from that moment on. And I have chills thinking about this. Like, you were walking out. I hope my kids watch this so they can see, even though the Survivor experience wasn't what you had hoped and dreamed, it did exactly what you needed it to do in order to be able to accomplish this amazing feat, this amazing goal with people who share the same passion,
Absolutely.
Good for you. I'm so proud of you, Gillian.
It's absolutely amazing, because I agree. And I always say, instead of the make fertilizer, I always say, life is hard. Life will throw things at you, and you have two options. You can sit around and you can cry about it, or you can take that, use it as fuel, and do something about it. So you get to choose. You're choosing if you're going to sit around and be a miserable mess, or are you going to go do something about it? And we all make those choices all the time.
Yeah.
We just don't always think about it. And so like minds here, right here.
Like minds. Well, and I only lasted 3 episodes, Gillian. I was only one more than you. But you know what? I have taken it. And I mean, initially was speaking and encouraging people in their faith. And now I'm just sort of encouraging people, in a different way, but in their faith, but it's in a different way. I mean, and I honestly don't believe that if it weren't for Survivor, I don't know that I would have had that platform. I don't know that people would hear my voice.
Survivor gave us a platform to use as a springboard to do so much more with. And again, it's back to a choice. What, because we all think we want to do things. And again, back to choice. My first choice was first night in that was, how am I going to play this? Yes. What am I going to do? And the choice I made me a very boring person on the game, because I gave production nothing. And then the second choice was, quit whining. Look what you've got in your hand. Do it. And it did, because we believed it. And thank you guys for all pitching in and everything. I mean, all the amazing people that made Reality Rally happen. It was such fun. I mean, it was amazing.
Yes. I'll never forget. We ran around that entire city.
So
that whole city.
Gillian, tell me what you're up to now. I know Reality Rally has kind of gone. It's like in the past.
Yep.
It's been a success, and now you've moved on. And one of the things that I love about you is that like your big message is just live a life of adventure. You know what I mean? Live a life of adventure. What does it look like for you now in this season of your life?
Well, first of all, since I was on Survivor, which by looking back at pictures, you know, my one grandchild was 2 when I was still walking around with an orange shirt on. And then since then, I have 7 grandchildren, and they range between the ages of 12 and 24. So I have always not put the family on the back burner. But so now I have even more time to do family stuff and do. I volunteer a lot. I still volunteer at Michele's place for different things. I'm on their advisory council. I'm on the board of the Hospice of the Valleys, where I can help make some of the decisions that they make, because they do amazing work and educating people about hospice, that it isn't somebody or a group you call in when you're on your last legs. It's, you know, you invite hospice into your family to help you and the patient and your family deal with that last stage of life so much better. I also, I don't know, volunteer here. I volunteer for the Historical Society, with school tours, volunteer in a community garden. I haven't done that for a little while, but have, where the food is grown for the pantries in the town, and it's an amazing place. I played a very small part. I just picked tomatoes. Whatever.
That sounds like a great job.
That's fantastic.
I didn't have to bend. The tomatoes were right there. So.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just wherever, you know, one of my mission has always been, since I was a child, actually, I remember, is how can we have fun always? And how can people make a difference in the lives of others? You know, what can we do for others? So I got very involved, obviously, from Reality Rally, being everywhere, every day, every hour, very connected with the community, and do a lot with the community in different aspects. And again, going back to the fans, any of the events, one of the things, in fact, Todd, you may remember way back when, one of the things I had what I called a memorandum of understanding, what you can do and what you can't do when you come to Reality Rally. And one of them was, you must engage with fans.
Yes.
You have to talk to them, because so often a group of reality people will be standing talking, and these fans are standing on the perimeter just dying to get into the conversation. So I said, watch for that and invite them in and talk to them and give them time and, you know, whatever, you know, engage with the fans. You have to. And in life anyway, and that's what I do now wherever I go, it's trying to engage with fans wherever. And, you know, we run into them everywhere.
Survivor fans are my favorite people on the planet, because I am one too. Like, I'm a Survivor fan still to this day. That's how I started.
Yeah.
You know, like, so we love the fans.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, just wherever I can make a difference, I pitch in. And now I'm having my old knees taken care of, and I must say that this isn't quite as, I shouldn't say I thought it would be easy, but it's challenging. But again, I'm just applying it day by day, push, push, push. And pretty soon down the road, it'll all be back to normal. But it's that old knee had really given up. I injured it falling off a Land Rover in Mozambique when I was 21. And
that's a great story, though. Come on. That's amazing.
I was there shark fishing and running being part of an African clinic. So
shark fishing?
Yeah. Gillian's story is literally like something you would see on a Lifetime movie, but like it's, you know, but you would picture the Indiana Jones-esque look, but so it's kind of like cheesy, where she's like, what's that out there? And then you're like, but it's real. Her life actually, this is stuff that she did.
Yeah,
well, fun life. It sounds to me like you're taking the, you know, life and just wringing every bit out of it. And that's like what it's what I picture in my life. It's what I want to do too. So,
and people can, you know,
yes,
great, and you will have you will have amazing experiences. We talked about using this as a springboard for things. We as contestants have had amazing opportunities that would never have come our way without it. But life itself shows you amazing opportunities. And so look for them and look at that door, open it and walk through it, because you never know what's there for you. Again, going back to my path of destiny. If a door was presented to you, it was presented for you to open it and go through it. Otherwise, you might not have seen the door. But yeah, life is for, I mean, we only have, this isn't a practice run. We only got once. And make a difference where we can. So,
boom.
Be
Yeah.
nice to people.
Like contribute goodness into this world, because Lord knows we need it, you know, do whatever that looks like. I always tell people, just follow the string of love. You can't go wrong. Just stay on that rope. don't let go, because the minute you're doing it for other reasons, it falls flat, you know.
Yeah. And always live with Ubuntu. I mean, that's
I love that.
Ubuntu. And that was my Ubuntu was the downfall of Survivor for me, because I couldn't give up my spirit of Ubuntu to be what I could have been. Oh, I could have been great. I could have been such a person on Survivor. I mean, I could have given them all kinds of stories and blah, 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 but I wouldn't. And I still won't. I will not talk any of those stories.
And that says a lot about who you are as a person. And I think that is more important than a game.
Well, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah, you've only got one reputation, and you want to keep it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have two reputations, good or bad, but you only want the good one. So build your reputation and be who you are. Be true to yourself always.
Always.
That is such a great way to end this beautiful time we've had together. Yeah, I love that. And I hope that everybody who's listening is inspired by Gillian. And this is why I love the older contestants, because the wisdom is outrageous.
Stories.
You know, it's like so much richer and deeper than like, you know, somebody ticked me off or whatever. This is like life lessons in reality, not reality TV, in reality. And so thank you for joining us today and for just sharing your heart and your story and your journey with us. It's really, really fascinating. And you mentioned a book. Are you working on one?
I have a lot of it, prepared, but, I don't know, maybe the contract's changed, but we cannot write a book that includes Survivor experiences.
Right.
Until Survivor ends. So I think, well, why am I following that rule?
Well, I guarantee you not everybody is. I've read several that include, I think as long as it's not like production secrets and stuff, I would think it's your life, whatever happened in your life and your perspective, I think is fine. But I think that, they just want us to protect the integrity of the show and the production, which I think is very fair.
And there are hardly any secrets anymore. I mean, they do all the behind the scenes things.
I know. Yeah.
So it's not like it used to be where it was really nobody knew anything.
Yeah.
So one day, but my book would just be mainly for myself, and it's sort of cataloged with experiences and things like that. And I mean, because I've always believed in grabbing life. So I've had a lot of some obviously damaging to knees and things like that, but hopefully it's made a difference in other people's lives that I may never know about. And that's fine. One shouldn't know about, but you don't do it for that reason.
Exactly.
You spread it out and hopefully some of it sticks.
You just plant those seeds, Gillian, and that's exactly what you're doing. So thank you, my friend. It was such a joy to catch up with you. Thank you for sharing your life beyond the torch and all the perspectives that went into it. I hope it helps people understand too what was going through your mind in those days.
Really awesome to hear.
I didn't know this. It's powerful.
Yeah. Well, and as I said, I haven't even watched my season because it really does make me sad. And watching your podcast with Courtney, I thought, just look at that thing. And when I was watching Survivor as a before Survivor person, I would study how people acted on the tribe and what did they do and what made them cohesive and blah, blah, blah. And how could I do that challenge? But I just am so sad that there was, for me anyway, and actually there was a validation YouTube. Somebody put together one because I thought, well, maybe it was just me. You know how we think, well, it's just me.
Yeah.
Somebody put together a YouTube that is the insane Survivor season that made Jeff want to quit. And I thought, oh my God. And I watched it and I thought, yeah, it wasn't just me. It was how this tribe was. It was like constant bickering and arguing and just stuff. I thought, oh, good. It wasn't just me.
It wasn't just you.
It wasn't just me.
To be fair, your season is known to have a lot of really negative people.
Yeah.
It is known in the community that it's just a lot of negativity. So I don't blame you for feeling that way out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're ever bored, go find that YouTube. It's hysterical.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, you're gonna have to share that link with me, and I'll put it in the show notes so that why not?
I've seen the video. I
haven't. See, I didn't know this. This is so fun. I didn't know Jeff wanted to quit. This is like tea that I've never tasted. So,
and then another video, if you guys are ever bored, when we finished up Reality Rally, one of the videographers that worked with us put together with me a thank you and farewell video. And it sort of shows the highlights of what Reality Rally was all about. The reality stars, Michelle's place, Temecula. And I'll send you that link as well. And
that would be great.
Because to me is what did I do with Survivor? And it wasn't I did.
And Gillian.
But it was the we, including you.
But that is who you are. Like,
yes.
It's so cool that your legacy is not what you did on Survivor. It's what you did after.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, right. So we celebrate that with you. And
absolutely.
Thank you for being on the show today. And yeah, you have been such a joy. So thank you, my friend. And
thank you so much.
Well, this is brilliant, you guys. You're doing an amazing job. I can't wait to see everybody that you talk with.
That means a lot. It means so much to us because it's new and we're excited about it, but like we hope everybody else is too.
Well, I'll be sharing it more and more so that people can. Well, I haven't done too much on Facebook lately because I'm too busy pushing my knee to get better.
Oh, yeah.
But
we hope you heal up quickly.
Yes,
But seriously, this has been a lot of fun. I love hearing stories like yours. Like your story is really inspiring. It's really quite beautiful. And, just the fact that you have built something so great after the show is so amazing. And you should be proud of that. Like, that is insane.
Well, it's a we thing. Couldn't have done it by myself. It was hundreds and hundreds of people. And we all did it together because we all cared. And that's the bottom line. So.
And that was your spiritual, what do you call it again?
Ubuntu. UBUNTU. Ubuntu.
Okay. Ubuntu. Yeah, that's when you see everybody as one together.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
You have an amazing day.
Thank
and
you.
We will talk to you very soon, my friend.
Bye, Gillian.
Love you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. What
that was fun.
Are you so encouraged? I feel like so encouraged right now. Just it doesn't matter if, it's funny. I tell people all the time, I fail more than I succeed in life. Now, people only see the successes, but they wouldn't see those successes if I hadn't failed like 12 times before to try to get there.
Failing is only a part of growing because if everything went perfect all the time, life would not be exciting.
Well, we didn't learn anything.
Excited for the things that you achieve, and you only feel the excitement because you've also felt the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you feel that if you've never experienced it? And
exactly.
My mom always brought me up, and her big thing, and this was my mantra in life, I think, is the only failure is not to try. And to me, that was the only, because if you're trying something and it quote fails, or it isn't the experience you thought it would be, like with Gillian, because I don't look at hers as a failure. I look at it like, wow, she fought through something. She really had an idea in her head of what it would look like, and it looked nothing like that. But instead of wallowing in that, to make that into something positive and to help so many people and raise so much money.
Okay. I also think that it is a great lesson on expectations because we as humans love to put expectations on everything. This is what we expect to happen, right? But when it doesn't happen, it's going to lead to disappointment. So it's learning to basically get rid of expectations and go in with just the idea of, I'm going to give it a go. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll find out. And that's what I've really tried to work on for the past couple of years is like, I don't want to expect things of anyone or anything. I'll just give it a go. And if it's great, that just means I get to experience the awesomeness, you know?
I believe that expectations are premeditated disappointments.
Yes,
Think about it.
you.
Because if it doesn't turn out the way you want, then all of a sudden you're disappointed. So that way, if you can just like hold it open and just trust, and like Gillian said, like walk through the doors that life
Yes.
opens, and just keep being positive. I think it's great. And I feel so good right now. I feel like we went to church, man. But in a good way.
I don't know about that, Leslie.
Okay.
Trying
My
to get
church
me to go
should
to
be.
church.
That's how that's what I meant. Anyway. Well, guys, listen, thanks for hanging out with us again on Beyond the Torch. I mean, I hope you're having as much fun as we are. This has been such a joy to create this content for you. And listen, we need you. We need your stories, and we want to hear from you. The fans have spoken. We've got that link right there in the show notes. You can email us beyondthetorch@gmail.com. You know, we can even read it online if you don't want to put your voice out there, but we love hearing your voices. So please don't hesitate. We would love to hear it. And listen, here's another thing. If you like this and there's a Survivor fan in your life who you know might like it too, please share. Let's get the word out that this podcast is here, that, you know, and also what really helps us to grow as far as a podcast is if you leave reviews and ratings. So you can do a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts, but you can do a rating, I think, on, Spotify. And and then of course, YouTube, all the comments are so great. Every time we post an episode, it's like this conversation,
it's really awesome to see.
Yeah, so head over to YouTube, and then you get to see what the survivors are doing now instead of just hearing it. But, you know, anyway, we're out there. We're so glad that you're a part of it, and we look forward to bringing you another amazing episode next week here on Beyond the Torch.
Woohoo. So excited. Bye.